West Virginia Democrats have stepped up to the challenge of fixing their state's problems. And I'm proud to have led the way with Senator Manchin to achieve so many of those accomplishments. Democrats stand arm in arm with their state's coal miners to fight back against overreaching federal regulations and the bureaucrats that ignore economic realities and threaten our state's way of life. We fight to make sure their pensions and health care aren't taken away. I think we can all agree that West Virginia Democrats have made significant progress for our state and our people. And I think it's time we share our story with West Virginians all across the state. I'm proud of all that we have accomplished together. And I, during my next 15 months as governor, look forward to our continued work to bring these shared priorities to life.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about being a West Virginia Democrat. It's a lot like being an Arkansas Democrat. We believe that government can force change in our lives, and we believe that government has a role to play and can make a positive difference in your life. We believe that when we work with government for common sense solutions to the challenges we face, we all succeed. We've always believed that. We believe that government should be your friend and your ally, not your adversary and your enemy. And we've done that better than any party has ever done. As a responsible Democrat, we put West Virginia families first. I've always said, pick your priorities based on your values. What's your priorities in life? It's your family, your children. It's the senior citizens, your grandma, your aunts and uncles, those who give you basically the love and nurturing and showed you the way. It's the veterans who basically went out and sacrificed, put a uniform on and said, listen, I'll take a bullet for you. I'll die for you. Gave us the freedoms that we enjoy and we take for granted.
Joe Manchin made the case for why I'm a Democrat. I believe government's important. I do not believe it always messes up a two-car parade. I feel sort of bad for those Republican senators. You know, they all thought they were going to sashay into the lead. And then the only people in the lead in their primary are the people who've never been in government, because they've spent 35 years telling us we should hate government. So the voters who believe that stuff say, well, then why should we vote for you? You're in government. I felt kind of bad. It was like, in the first debate, it looked like they were taking a theology test and see who could give the most politically correct answer to show the most intense hatred of government. And they said, well, and Trump, who is a master brander, just blew by him because he said, you need to vote for me, I don't know anything about it. Just two or three things about this special issues affecting West Virginia. First of all, I believe that we can't turn our backs on it and on the mining communities that made this state, and their safety, the health care, the retirement. I think it's important. So I was glad that Senator Manchin and Senators Casey and Brown and Warner and Kane offered a bill to ensure that miners suffering from black lung could get the treatment and support they deserve, because they're all getting turned down again. That ought to pass. That bill should pass. I was glad that Senator Manchin and Senator Capito's Miners Protection Act came in, and it's a bipartisan bill. That bill ought to pass. The last thing we should do is to allow money set aside for coal miners in bankruptcy to be claimed by the lawyers and the other people in the middle. For example, Patriot Coal's trying to take, I couldn't make this up. I mean, you literally couldn't make this up. $18 million of the $22 million put aside for retired coal miners, their wives and widows, to use to pay the lawyers instead. And when they got that $22 million, they got it based on a factual representation in a court of law that that money would be used to pay the obligations that have been accrued over decades to miners' families. And then they said, well, we'll do it, but we got to pay the lawyers first. Well, how much you got to pay the lawyers? 80% of it. That's what I'm telling you. You've got to have people, and we got to reach out to the Republicans who are interested in this and pass this Miners Protection Act. This country, I am telling you, has an unlimited future. And the opportunities are fairly clear, the options are fairly forthright, and there is nothing we're facing we can't deal with it. But we've spent too many years fooling around with it, playing games with it, and ignoring the fact that we're going to have to do this together. And if you leave somebody out and somebody behind, there'll be the kind of friction we've had, the kind of frustration we've had, the kind of upsetness we've had, and things won't happen. If we all go forward together, it's going to be great. I thought that's what the Democratic Party was about, and I still think so. I love you. Thank you.
Thank you.